Hey, Masten, welcome to another episode of the Echoes of Masten. Today we are here at Mount Olive Baptist Church with none other than Pastor Dwayne Gillison. Hi, Pastor.
How you doing? Welcome.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing us into your sanctuary. And so Mount Olive is a staple in the community. Many residents live in the Massen district, but they live all over the city. They come here. They come here to fellowship. They come here to worship. But I know, and many people know, but a lot of people don't know that the work that Mount Olive does expands well outside of the walls of this church.
Amen.
And so outside of God, why is it so important to be outside?
Well, we not only believe that God gives us responsibility to build up souls, but also the community that we live in, we have to become a part of it.
Yeah.
And it becomes part of our responsibility.
Yeah.
My dad used to always say to me that you don't have to have all the answers, but if you sit at the table where the answers are being spread abroad, that means in our community, we can get things done. And so one of the passions that he had was for senior housing, affordable housing. Yeah. And so we bought up buildings after the proceeds that the Lord has given to us through our development corporation, which was formed here. And one nice thing about a development corporation, they all work for free. And so there's no payroll. And so it's focused on providing housing. So we started our first piece with a 10-unit apartment building on Delavan and Cambridge, which is complete, called Trinity One. Our second project was Mount Olive Manor, which sits right behind our parking lot. Yeah. 65 apartments, affordable housing, senior housing. And then we're going to start our third project, townhouses, that people will be able to buy so that they can begin to build equity and wealth. So they won't be tied to us. Yeah. You qualify, get your own mortgage through the bank. Yeah. And as long as you stay there 10 years, it'll be a blessing. So amen. We've already bought the land and taken care of it, having testing started.
Exciting.
We always realize that we do things that God would be glorified, not that man would be glorified. So we're not boasting about anything, but just quietly doing the work that God has assigned for us to do.
Right. But you should boast, right? Yeah. Because for me, I'm here to boast for you. Okay.
What will let you
because, yes, because, I've come to church service here with you many, many times, and it is an amazing experience to worship with you all. But it is even more gratifying to see the work that you do in this neighborhood. And people talk about Mount Olive. They talk about, they're building housing and they're doing all these things, but also you're inviting people into your building. You host a lot of meetings here, a lot of community meetings, a lot of things. So tell us a little bit about why that's important and why the church should play a role in that.
I think one of the things that I hear my dad speak to me again of his vision. And when we built the church, some of his friends who were pastors like, "Why do you need a church that big?" He said, "I don't need a church that big, but maybe God does." And so God uses the building for the community, and he's kind of had the vision of the doors being opened and closed. Yeah. We're open 6 days a week, 2 secretaries, fellowship hall, a full dining kitchen. And so we do things for the community. We do things for a church, it's for funerals. Everybody wants to have their funeral, their wedding, and so on and so on. Yeah. And so we realize it doesn't belong to us, it belongs to God. But I think one of the greatest things that happened 6 years after we moved into the church, $3 million project, we were able to burn the mortgage. So 6 years since we built it, we haven't had a mortgage.
Ownership.
And so we look at other areas in our community that we could build up so it doesn't dilapidate. And so we've kind of bought those houses up, put them back on the market because that's our area. Yeah. And so then kids, we try to make sure that our kids are able to read, write, and do math on grade level. And that's a good one. That was what Pastor always used to say. So we started our own tutoring program with teachers, retired teachers, students from UB, students from Buffalo, who come in and deal with our children. And I think that is so powerful because it helps those who are trying to become teachers be familiar with East Side inner city. Right. And so that's give them another development of being able to merge into the community, understanding the community, understanding our children, and kind of go from there. And so right now the housing is the biggest thing that we're doing. But often we try to maintain the building to make it look like it did when we first moved in.
Yeah.
And so Pastor would always say decay doesn't happen overnight. So we have all of our trustees have an area that they take care of, whether it be transportation, whether it be the sanctuary, whether it be the fellowship hall, whether it be grounds.
Yeah.
And so they're responsible, and we report back together and try to keep everything going.
Yeah. And so you've made reference a couple of times to your dad, Pastor Gillison.
Yeah.
You know, he's a community staple in himself, even though he is no longer with us. An amazing, amazing man. And so let's think about that. How would Pastor Gillison feel about the movement that Mount Olive is having right now in this community?
Part of it is because of the vision that God has given to him, that we have what we have. So what we're reaping is the seeds that's been planted by him.
Yeah.
Things are starting to grow up now.
They are.
And even with the housing, he would have me one day drive him around. Take a picture of that lot. Take a picture of that lot. Take a picture of that lot. And I said, what are we taking the pictures for? So that's for you guys to figure out. And so it was kind of prophetic that we would become almost like a Joshua behind Moses and figuring out what Moses has done. But a lot of it's because of his heart, his passion, and it still lives on, the vision that God has given to him, And so for me, it's a Herculean task walking behind a giant. But most of the stuff he's already seeded, and God's going to let it come to pass under my watch because of his faithfulness.
Absolutely.
Amen.
Amen. And I think he passed it on to a true giant already. You are already walking the walk, Pastor.
People call him the father of the city. I say I can be the big brother or a cousin or something like that. But it's just see how many people he touched across the city. Not just
lot.
here in the Masten district, but all across our city.
Yeah, so. And he definitely did. And thank him and thank you for all of your work.
He would say, to God be the glory.
And to God be the glory, in the words of Pastor Gillison. And there you have it, residents. This has been another episode of the Echoes of Masten. Please check out Mount Olive Baptist Church on their social media and on their website. They do a lot in our community, in our neighborhood. And please come worship with them on Sundays. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful.